I mean, pretty safe to say, though, the gods killed themselves. What are you going to do?
I mean,
I can mock them all I want now. They're dead. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and if you don't remember him from the last recording, this is Ray. How about you introduce yourself?
Hi, guys. I'm Ray. I'm from the channel of Art Nights, where we do a bunch of reactions on there just as well. Not many animates, but a couple.
Yeah, I mean, you did Ghost in the Shell, not standalone complex, that's the show. I don't remember the name of the movie.
I do want to watch that, though.
Well, yeah, but you and Julian did the movie.
Yeah, correct. And we're planning on doing Akira sometime soon.
Yeah, why not? You literally mentioned it in the last recording we did.
You never did it. That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we are here for Record of the Lodoss War, which you brought up, and I have never seen. I've heard a lot of stuff for. You mentioned,
I'm excited.
Yeah, you had mentioned you had seen it a long time ago. So you want to say anything about it?
Back in the day, I'm talking about somewhere in the 90s, or maybe it might have been the early 90s. I was into anime, but not as it wasn't as big as it is today. You know, anime back then was almost like low key, almost not blackmail, but black market type of thing. You know, it felt that way. So I remember at the time being a big fan of Dungeons and Dragons, and there was a friend of mine told me you should check out this anime. It's very similar to Dungeons and Dragons. So he gave me he had like a set of like 10, maybe 5 VHS tapes. Was the whole series on it, and that's how I watched it. You know, I ended up making a copy of it, but it's very D&D like. So, and my question to you was: have you ever played D&D before Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, this channel was a tabletop channel before it was an anime reaction channel. So no, I mean, I'm familiar with that in the aspect that I think Record of the Lodoss War is essentially someone's D&D game, and then
exactly, it's somebody's D&D game.
Yeah, and then they turned that into its own tabletop system in Japan, so it's got its own. Yeah,
and I think they also got video games as well. I think they're not just tabletop. I think there's also like a line of video. Like the IP is pretty big in Japan.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
But you're gonna find. I think what you're gonna find is that, you know, as you're watching, you're gonna see the elements like how D&D is definitely the influence of this anime. But it doesn't say that it's all, you know, just based off of the action and your typical D&D stuff. I think the story was pretty good, and the art and the music is absolutely gorgeous. So I think you're in for a treat.
I mean, I'm hoping so. Obviously, we have pictures of our characters beneath us as chosen by my artist. My artist tends to. I was just telling this to my artist the other day. Has a 98% success rate on picking characters that are like what I like, which tends to be villains. But well, I have a certain brand of villain that I like, and well, you would know who they picked for you. Don't tell me, because obviously I don't want to know until we see them.
Yeah, you're gonna see as we go along. You see who it is.
Yeah. So. Yeah, well, I also become attached to the characters I'm drawn as, so I'll be more interested in that. Whoever this is, I will tend to be more interested in them based on the fact that I now represent them. So even if I don't agree with what they're doing or whatever, I will argue on their behalf because I now have to.
Sounds good to me. I'm all about it.
I guess the only other thing I got is that I tend to also have a curse that the characters that I like the most tend to die. So.
Well, I'm keeping my mouth quiet. I'm not saying a thing.
Well, it's not aided by the fact that I prefer villains. So,
and to be fair, it's been a very long time since I've seen it. I want to say it's been maybe over 20 years since I've seen this anime.
Well, you said the 90s, so that would be almost 35 years if you're from 1990.
Well, that was the first time. I seen it again maybe in the early 2000s or something like that.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I mean, that said, unless there's anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I'm excited. Hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
The Pantheon?
The Pantheon, yeah, and this is actually a painting.
英語とも思われた神々の時代に終焉の時は来た。光の思考神ファリスと
I was just about to ask if this is on Earth or not, but I think that answers that.
天空をして神官師からしめた。
And it's good art. That is
It's
painting
gorgeous.
level.
戦いに大地は嘆き、海はおののいた。
Reminds me of Flight of Dragons.
I get a lot of like Dragonlance vibes from this early on, but the art here. The one reason I love this show because the art is gorgeous.
創造を司る第一母神マーファと破壊を司る邪神カーディスの激突は大陸の果てにまで及んだ。
I'm now wondering how much of the mythology I'm gonna have to keep track of.
I don't think you have to worry too much about the mythology. I mean, it's a setup.
Yeah. I mean, like, the first 5 minutes of episode 1 was just a creation mythos, and then they don't touch it ever again.
But I think the soundtrack was great too. I don't know. I'm just happy to be watching it again.
Also, kind of feels like I'm watching a creation myth on the side of like a Greek vase.
It looks that way. Maybe that was kind of the idea.
Well, when they were showing the creator god and the destruction goddess going across one each other, I really got that Hercules vibes.
熾烈を極めた戦いの果て、大陸から切り離され、新たに誕生した大地。
I can see that on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
光と闇の女神はそれぞれの命の火を消した。それから数千年、アレクラスト大陸の南に位置するこの大地を、人は呪われた島ロードスと呼んだ。
Right, I guess that makes sense. Lodoss was the place. I thought Lodoss was going to be a kingdom or something.
Yeah. No, I think it's the whole continent. If I'm not mistaken. I've always loved the opening. Like this song, it's haunted me for years.
Well, then you're going to hate this because we have to talk over the opening.
That's okay. That's fine.
Well, I've described this to you before, but I haven't. I didn't bring it up in the opening here. Is that the element that I'm gonna rewatch these episodes after we're done watching them anyway? Because I do take my notes, come back with the board and everything, and no expectations of you to put in that level of work. You're here to enjoy a show again, but I will come back after we're done today's recording. How many episodes will we do? With notes about what I thought about the characters, what this might imply for future events. Like, I have no idea how this is going to go yet because we haven't encountered these people in show form. But, and I'll also come back with a board with character connections and whatnot.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, like, I'm already enjoying the aesthetics. Like, this whole 90s vibe, I love, bro. There's a charm to these 90s anime that I just can't get enough of.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day saying the 80s to 90s was the golden age.
Yeah, I think so, It's hand-drawn, too. It's hand-drawn.
I love 80s to 90s stuff, but I would dispute golden age. Prologue to Legend. I mean, you never see me wandering around in a thunderstorm.
No, not at all. Let alone with lightning coming down like this.
Well, I would wonder who those people were, if not for the fact it seems like we met them all in the opening. And I would have to guess that this is the building where that mural was in the prologue.
Was it here?
I mean, we don't... You would know, obviously.
No, I'm thinking that now. You're making me think now. Like, is this supposed to be that? I never thought about that.
Well, it seems like the mural was in an actual place, so they panned back and it was on a giant wall.
Yeah, I saw that, and I know that, but I was like, you made me think now. Like, I wonder if that is it. You know, like I know what's gonna happen. I remember this episode very well, but I don't remember if this building was that.
So I think that was the elf girl that was on the back of the horse with what I assumed to be the main character.
Yeah, I think she's like, I think she became the prototype of elves in Japan.
90s? I would guess not. There was 80s elves in anime.
Well, look at this one here. Maybe her style is pretty unique.
Come on, man, it's 1,000 years old.
なあ、本当にこれを抜けないとウォートのところに行けねえのか。安全な道ならいくらでもあるでしょう。しかし私たちには時間がないのです。
なんかカビ臭そうなところね。
嫌なら待っておれ。その方がわし
So I'm just getting the vibes of that place in Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
And they called it a mine.
Moria.
Yeah, Moria. I couldn't think of the name either.
俺は自分がやりたいからやってるだけだ。別に無理についてきてくれなくてもいいんだぜ。
なんですって？
そんなこと言ってる場合じゃないぞ、二人とも。
I won't be surprised if this scene was inspired by what the Mines of Moria. And I mean that by the aesthetics.
I mean, maybe. Lord of the Rings was old. In the 90s. What, like 40 years?
Yeah. Already old, yep.
I guess he's lucky they don't turn into stone immediately. Cleric?
The wizard.
You sure? That seemed more like a prayer than a spell. Yeah, he's talking to the gods.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Okay, so this is more of a Mystra, a goddess of magic sort of situation.
The one who's a priest, cleric, it looks like a cleric, see?
I mean, the other guy was wearing white too. Unless I've already forgotten.
今それどころじゃないだろう。
似合いますよ、とっても。
ありがとう。
誰だ?
Yeah, apparently I've already forgotten he was wearing brown.
どこかで私たちをかき回しているようですね。
I don't know, just if I was like in a party with him and he was like talking about creation and goddesses and evil, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, cleric.
You're the paladin or cleric.
I wonder why it went that way. I wonder why they chose that instead of using some arcane stuff. Or more arcana stuff.
which is, I assume, where they are.
誰だ。
あの時、私をかばって魔人に突進したのはあなたではなかったかしら、ウォート。どうやら昔話を思い出してくれたようね。六英雄と呼ばれた仲間たちを。
しかし。
肉体なぞ。歴史の中では時代を映すドレスでしかないわ。
Sorry, to rival Dracula's speech in Castlevania. What is a man?
I like the little TR she has those other eyes. Like, she has 4 eyes.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just lamenting in my own memory. It's like, Wart, I've heard that already, that name, but I can't remember. I already can't remember. Why I need to go back and take the notes on the board. My memory is shit.
ドワーフの道案内なんてかえって時間がかかるんじゃないの？
Sorry, am I supposed to think that he's the cleric because he's wearing the what's the name? I can't remember the name of the
oh my god, what is that called? Yarmulke?
I'm not gonna say that's not what I was thinking too, but I don't think that's right. Let go of the grail. Oh, the mid-credit roll. I mean, I have to say that was an eminently escapable trap.
You would think she could jump out of that because she did so agile.
But I mean, it wasn't even dropping that fast. Meanwhile, in Rohan. Okay, so Marmo are gonna be our bad guys. And whatever those 2 other people I don't need to worry about because they're already gone. 2 people, 2 other countries.
その鎧は
かつて陛下の臣下でありました父の形見でございます。
Setup kind of reminds me of Tower of Druaga. That would be
what is it?
Gilgamesh.
ハシュ殿か。パーンとか申しましたな。あの若者なかなか良い目をしておりました。
Very clearly who you were drawn as.
まさかテシウスの息子に出会えるとは。いや、会わねばと思ってはいた。テシウス
Yeah, Tessius, former retainer, and I'm gonna guess King's old love interest?
Actually, they used to be their own adventure group back in the day.
Yeah. So I was realizing I don't know who that guy is. I would assume he was the king, but then he referred to the other guy as a king. So is this like a meeting of kings?
I'm wondering if I should say something or not. I'm afraid to spoil anything, but they're both kings, if I'm not mistaken. They should both be kings.
Well, I guess the white guy was the king of kings. I should say the guy in white.
とにかく早いとここを抜け出してみんなの
So, just so I'm not feeling stupid here, is that Parn or is that Tessius and we're in a flashback?
That's Parn.
Okay, I thought
That's
that.
Parn.
But then we went back to the other place as though he'd already gotten out of here, and I was like, are we seeing Tessius' thing and we're getting his father as his father's adventure as a backstory element?
It was more him talking to the king was more like a flashback.
That was the flashback.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was like, oh, we just escaped already. Okay.
there you go. So you were correct.
Well, I was also about to laugh because it's like, are we getting the same thing again? The thing that we just got from the opening narration?
ファリスの光の力ありしもファラリスの暗黒の力邪悪にして神々は自ら互いの強力な力により滅び
Okay, the backstory of No Game, No Life.
古い神話よ
Where all the gods destroy each other and the only god that survives is the god of games.
強すぎたってことでしょうね
本当に強ければ戦う必要なんかなかったんじゃないか
I mean, pretty safe to say, though, the gods killed themselves. What are you gonna do?
I mean,
I can mock them all I want now. They're dead. Although if the gods killed themselves, what the cleric doing?
I think that's the reason why it reminds me a bit of the Dragonlance world, because it's very similar, and at least with the Pantheon.
But Dragonlance is secretly sci-fi. Not secretly, it is sci-fi.
Don't get me started.
エルフの娘がついてるんじゃ空気の流れで外への道はすぐに気がつくはずじゃわかんねえな仲が悪い割にはディードの肩を持つじゃねえかうるさい能力のあるなしを判断するのにいちいち感情を加えるのは人間だけじゃ
風の精霊シルフよ我を地上へと導く
Okay, so Ranger.
Either Ranger or Druid.
Yeah, to be fair, she doesn't have a bow. But she's wearing metal, so she can't be a druid.
Well, I only said because she uses elemental magic. Like, her stuff is all elemental based. But you're right, it could be a Ranger.
I mean, if we're multi-classing, that's all up in the air.
That's true.
Oh, she was in the hero's party. And not for nothing, the old guy looks like Dungeon Master from the old D&D cartoon.
He does. He absolutely does. And the dwarf, did you catch his name?
No.
Gim.
Was it Gimli?
Like Gimli. So I'm assuming that's exactly what that's for.
Oh, Dragon's still alive. Yeah, I guess Green Dragon poison, right? I'm making that judgment on the fog that's rolling across the ground. Also, yeah, I think Green Dragons legitimately are poison.
I believe it. I think you're correct.
Also, wasn't there a green dragon in the mural? I guess implying that the dragons didn't kill each other, so there should be a red dragon in the future.
I think you're right. I think it was a green dragon. But the fact that it's breathing fire like that too, I don't think they're keeping it 100% like D&D. You know,
yeah, because a green dragon would spit poison.
Yeah. So they're keeping it a bit more cliche in terms of what dragons do. It's supposed to do.
Seems like they're trying to define the dragon biology with its fire, though. Again, like a Flight of Dragons does. You know, they have to eat granite and produce like volatile gas in their stomachs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Flight of Dragons is really good. It's like 80s cartoon. Or 80s cartoon movie. So, somebody cast shield?
Yeah, that I know. My group, we would have died all there. We would all have died.
Well, yeah, assuming your first level going up against a dragon. So if I was following Flight of Dragon rules, stab them in the throat. They have a little spark thing at the back of the throat, which is what ignites the flammable gases that they eat, so they can breathe. That's where the fire comes from. That way
I'm gonna have to watch that.
He'd blow up his own guts. Yeah, it goes into the whole thing because a human from Earth gets put into a dragon's body.
Jeez.
I mean, it's the most successful blow yet.
What makes you think that axe may be magical, or he's just that strong?
I feel like they're leaning on dwarves are strong. You know, based on the way he looked back at the elf.
That was badass. No, maybe you're correct.
I mean, it's going to what I'm going with. He stabbed him in the throat, now it's fire. The thing is, in Flight of Dragons, the fire would go down his throat into his stomach, following the gas.
It'd be like a big explosion, probably.
Sort of, it would just burn alive from the inside either way. You know, the guy lives near the exit if it's the same place.
待ちましょう。そのために来たのだから。
まあわしには関係のないことじゃが、ロードスが揺れるの。
歴史の天秤は多少。
Technically, he could be the dungeon master.
She?
No, him. Because technically, he said if the dungeon way is cleared, as I said, then would.
Yeah, I tell you what though, I won't be surprised if he was exactly the inspiration behind the design.
I just mean he's in general like describing what they're doing. I guess I'm just surprised that episode 1 is over, and I don't know what the threat is.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what it is. The thing, what I found interesting about this show, is that the first episode is almost meaningless, and it seems to be more of an intro to the character. Like, I mean, there's hints about what's going to happen there between the kings and the witch and the old man talking, but like the whole fight about the dragon, it's really almost inconsequential for the rest of the show. And then, like, starting episode 2, you're gonna see like how the show actually begins, introducing these people, who they are, and whatnot. So this episode, I've always found it how interesting it was, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like this, where the first episode is like you're thrown in the middle of what is going to be an action type anime without explaining or knowing who these people are.
I mean, I get that a lot though. Well, one, I'm going to go through a serious example in a minute, but my first example would have to be, I brought this up earlier in the episode, Tower of Druaga, because a lot of people watched the first episode, got excited, and then hated episode 2 onwards.
Really?
I fucking love that show. Well, the element is, episode 1, Tower of Druaga, the hero got a concussion. So it plays off as a complete joke, the whole episode. Because he's supposed to be guarding the party from a Minotaur attack. Minotaurs are charging at them. He gets knocked in the head. You don't know this until the end of the episode, that is. And then he is just having like this whole, then I was going to marry the princess, but then I wanted an adventure. And then I found, the innkeeper. And, it's like he goes on a stereotypical D&D adventure in his mind, all filled with one day from retirement. When I get back home, I'm going to get married. All those things. met the enemies, killed the enemies, met the god, killed the god, got married to the innkeeper's daughter, blah, 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 blah. But it's all very cartoonish. And then at the end of the episode, he's waking up from the concussion that he got. And then mostly serious from then on. It's filled with other jokes. Tower of Juaga is a Japanese video game. Essentially inspired by Pac-Man. It's a level-based, gotta find the item, gotta unlock the way out, gotta defeat the enemy, go to the next level.
Inspired by Pac-Man, though.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the exact details of it, but it's inspired by Pac-Man to the point that in episode 1, Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man like leap out of a building or something. But I mean, no, it's part jokes, part serious. Like, one of the episodes, they find the little video game cabinet, Tower of Juaga, in the Tower of Juaga that they have to beat to defeat the floor.
Yeah.
But that was the jokey one. More serious, I'm currently watching Visions of Escaflowne, which I would say follows the same dynamic that I call Final Fantasy storytelling, which is that you start from a very personal level, you build up to having the characters deal with a threat greater than themselves, and then you get introduced to the wider polity of like nations at war and whatnot as you escalate the scale of the story being told. Until then, the characters are on the level of the nations that they're fighting. And,
that's
typically,
pretty cool. I like that.
Typically Final Fantasy goes beyond that. Well, that's Visions of Escaflowne.
All right, guys.
Which I think is also mid-90s, early 90s anime.
Okay. Well, like I said, this one is, like you said, you've seen it. It's like giving you a taste of what you should be expecting. And then, to me, like, the show begins in the second episode. That's what it feels like to me.
Like I said, I'm just surprised that I don't know what the threat is. Obviously, I have a suspicion. My hand is over my artwork right now. I have a suspicion of what the threat might be. Not for nothing. Dude's wearing full black armor, but...
Yeah, you haven't met that guy yet.
Yeah, I know. I, for some reason, thought we were going to. Like, when we transitioned over to what apparently was the Meeting of Kings, I suspected that we were going to get something there. But then again, I also thought that was the flash forwards. I didn't understand that that was the flashback to, hey, why are we on this labyrinth thing? Because again, I'm assuming they're in the labyrinth. Because that gets referenced.
Yeah, and then it turned out to be, you're right, it turned out to be the very beginning of what we saw, the mural and maybe an ancient civilization from back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing was 1,000 years old, but then who's to say when the mural got painted? Assumedly not the day after the war happened. So, but yeah, no, I mean, well, here's my thing. As I constantly say, I'm not, don't have a good memory. Like they said the name Wart, and I'm like, oh, they said Wart earlier, or do I know Wart from other fantasy stuff? It's just a name, right? But
it's just a name.
Well, they mentioned it there. Like I said, this is stuff to come back when I do the rewatch for all the notes and everything. But to see
if I might give you the wrong information, but I think
Well, like I said, I think they said Wart during the beginning of the episode, and then they say it again later, and it's like, I've heard that. They've referenced that, but I just can't put it together. So when I come back with notes and the board and everything, obviously I'll be putting stuff together left and right. But in the moment, in the reactionary moment, very forgetful.
No problem. That's right. That's okay. I mean, listen, as long as you have your system and how to do it, and how you do your thing.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a little behind the scenes. That's why I said before that we might not be recording as many once I start getting into the notes, because I will talk about the notes at length.
No, that's fine. I'm all about it, so it's all good.
All right. Well, I don't really have much to go on here. I don't think I said this, but when you asked, do you think the axe is magical, or is he just that strong? I was leaning on he looked back at the elf, so I'm thinking it's supposed to be a dwarven strength sort of thing, because I feel like they're pulling on fantasy racism. Like, I anticipate at some point he's going to call her knife ears or some shit, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Usually that's the trope of the dwarves and elves. That they're kind of racist against each other for the most part.
Yeah.
But he even made a quick snag remark humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to see that.
All the humans will be so pompous
yeah.
or something to not recognize skill.
Yeah, but you know what? I almost said something I should not say, so I'm going to just stop myself.
Now you know what it was like being in the 4 season Babylon 5 chat, not being able to talk about anything.
Dear Lord. I try. Like I'm watching, we're watching Battlestar Galactica, and I've seen Battlestar Galactica on my channel, and I have been biting my tongue. But people are still commenting that Ray, you gotta be quiet. I was like, I'm trying. I could have sworn I didn't say anything. So I'm trying. I'm trying harder than I should. Maybe I shouldn't watch anything that I've seen before.
You've seen all of Battlestar Galactica, or are you just talking about the scenes you've already seen?
I've seen it all. I've seen all of them, but I saw when it came out, and that was back in the early 2000s.
So you've seen the end of Battlestar Galactica?
Yes.
That's why I said it's not good.
I still disagree with you.
I still say OG Battlestar Galactica is the best Battlestar Galactica. I will take that Baltar over this Baltar any day. See, I was watching this Battlestar Galactica when it came out as well. Like, it's good for maybe 50%, I would say. But I would say I enjoyed maybe like 70% of the OG.
I can't say the same. I can't. I watched the movie I saw, and then when I put it on, sometimes I don't know if I enjoyed the story I'm watching or seeing. So I remember putting on the second episode. I mean, it was on. I forgot what I saw it on. The thing is, I was watching it. And I was taken away from it. Like, there's something about the aesthetics that I wasn't crazy about, and it was taking me away from the show. So maybe I give it a second chance.
Here's my argument. A comedy is harder to do than a drama, because a comedy has to be funny, right?
Yeah.
So, a real corny, over the top sci-fi that's successful has to do it well. Now, you can be real corny without intending to, but to play it well, I feel like, is an art. Now, if you're going to do a serious take, which is what the newer one does, right? That also dips into being corny, but you can't go from serious to corny. You can be corny and just be corny, but you can't go from serious to corny. And the serious show dips into corny, and that ruins it.
I think that there was a hidden genius between that ending. It
was real hidden. It was expertly hidden.
Expertly hidden.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't spot it.
You need to be an archaeologist to find it.
Well, you're saying it's a hidden genius, and I'm saying I didn't spot it.
I really do.
Waldo was hidden in that picture.
I'm watching it again. I'm hoping you're watching along with us. I liked it, and I'm also having a good time with my guys. I mean,
that's the point, though, having fun.
Yeah, that's another thing. We're having a really good time with these guys. So, which is, I think, the best thing about reacting is being able to have a good time.
Yeah,
and share that with people.
Not doing it because we don't have fun.
Well,
that's just where everybody in the comment sections that are always like, "I've never seen anybody watch so much of a thing that they clearly hate," and it's like, I hated it. I wouldn't be here. That's the thing. Everyone thinks I hate everything I watch, but so long as they keep watching with me.
Well, that was the first episode.
Yep. Well, anything else you want to say again?
What do you think about the art?
It's good. I mean, it's not. God, what is it? Studio Clamp that has literally. You heard of the RPG Big Eye Small Mouth?
No, Big Eye Small Mouth.
Yeah, it's an RPG based on anime. You have the trope that Clamp started. Big eyes, small mouth. That's the Clamp art style. Like Magic Knight Rayearth is the one that comes to my mind.
Okay.
It's not that. It is very, I want to say, classical fantasy art style. I would say it is a bit rounded. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not good at describing art.
You mean
I'll say I can't think of a harsher. I can't think of a harsher art style.
Symmetrical.
Well, no. If you say Berserk, right? 90s Berserk, This has a more rounded, softer edge to the characters.
Gotcha.
These are not the characters you would see in Berserk.
No, not at all. Though it would definitely be interesting to see these two clash. But yeah, I get what you're
here's the
saying
thing:
now.
they've got magic here. I don't remember a lot of magic in Berserk, other than well, Guts I think would kill everybody.
Yeah,
who's going to defeat Guts, especially post event Guts?
I don't think that Dragon had a chance against Guts.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, the first giant demon with normal human guts didn't stand a chance. Well, technically, he actually did. He got away, but I'm just saying, no one cannon arm Guts is not going to have a problem with any of these people. Well, anyway, any final thoughts you have here for this first episode?
No, I'm very happy to watch it again, and I did enjoy watching it one more time, and seeing it through your eyes for the first time. I mean, it's delightful.
Well, I would hope you give me my eyes back when we're done. I'm not one of the 3 Witches of Fate. All right, well, that said, that was the first episode. So once again, I have been Theta. This has been Ray. We've been Stoneface I've been Stoneface Reactions. He's been Our Knights. And we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?